Hello everyone, this is Dr. Anastasia Chopelas with another episode of Scientific Healing. Please give this broadcast some 5-star or thumbs up love to help spread the word. And today what I'm going to talk about is the importance of establishing rituals in your daily life to help keep you on track and actually conserve your energy. I got inspired last week because I was together at a conference with about 30 really high-end, very active individuals. And when I spoke to them individually, each and every one of them, especially the very dynamic ones, when I chatted with them, I discovered that each of them had a daily morning ritual, and that daily morning ritual is what set the tone right, and they were all different. One of them told me, if I don't do this, I'm just not the same. He would spend an hour meditating and chanting. Right? That's like very different from what most people do, but there are people that do that, and he is this amazing multi-millionaire who has sold millions and millions of dollars of products. He's a very genuine guy, a grandfather, and I just loved having this conversation with him. And then others would get up and do exercise or meditate or a journal or something, some of them up to 2.5, 3 hours before they got their day started. And I thought that was like really, really interesting to hear all that, because I too have my morning rituals, and I'll tell you what they are and how you can get started establishing them as well. And I got inspired not just from listening to that, but yesterday I was at church and we were having a memorial service for my mother, who has been 4 years. It's been 4 years since her passing. And my grandmother, her mother, who it's been 15 years since her passing. And it's a tradition that the church does to memorialize you can decide every year. Usually it is right after the passing, and then 40 days, and then every year after that. And the 40 days is to help them ascend. And so, my sister, for the first time, made this traditional, it looks like a pie. It's not really, it's a mound, and in the mound it's called koliva in Greek, and it is a special thing that you only eat. It's a ritualistic material that you only eat during that time. And it has been the same thing, like I just saw a picture from an Orthodox ritual in 1916. It looked exactly like today's, and I know that this koliva has been in existence to symbolize resurrection and everlasting life for over 5,000 years. And when I read that, it gave me goosebumps, because Christianity has only been on the planet for 2,000 years. And so what was going on before that? And why were those specific ingredients in this koliva? So what's in there is wheat berries that have been soaked and activated. So when you take any kind of grain, when you soak it overnight, you activate it. So it starts the germination process and brings it back to life. And actually the wheat berries symbolize resurrection, but they were for the goddess of the earth, or of growing things, Demeter, from the ancient Greek mythology. And I'm thinking, wow, they've carried this amazing tradition forward. And then there's always pomegranate seeds that represent her daughter, Persephone, who had to spend 6 months in Hades and 6 months above the earth. And so her mother Demeter gave her the pomegranate seeds to represent life on the surface of the earth. And then almonds were sacred to Aphrodite, raisins to Dionysus, and sesame seeds are to open the doors to consciousness. And those are all ingredients found in there. And they're sweetened, and there's a layer of sugar over the top to represent the sweetness of life. So I was like really blown away that this is a ritual that's been carried on in, basically in my DNA for 5,000 years. Here's what's happening in ritual is that a ritual is designed to be a repetitive behavior to remind you of something. And the reason why you want to create a repetitive behavior is it starts first, you repeat it over and over, and then it becomes a habit, and then it becomes a ritual. And I know energetically, a habit takes a minimum of 90 days. That's how long it takes for the energy to reprogram itself in your body. Forget what the pop psychologists say that after 21 days you form a habit. After 21 days it gets easier to keep doing it. But if you don't go past the 21 days and you don't go to 90 days, the energy patterns will revert in your body. That's why it's important when you work with a healer to continue working with him or her for a minimum of 90 days, even if it's just to have a quick checkup and have your energy realigned so the healing can continue, right? It's like dieting for one consecutive day. You will never get to your goal if you only do it for one day, right? So let's go back to rituals. So the reason why you want to develop daily habits that become your daily rituals is that every decision you make is an energy suck. So let's imagine you've just moved your home, and before you moved to a new home, you've gone through your things and you've disposed of things that were obviously to be disposed of, things you don't use, things that are out of date, things you no longer want or need, and you dispose of them. And then when you come into your home, and let's say like me, I moved into a home that's 1/4 of the size of the one I used to own. So now I am cramped in my home and I have to cull things out further, right? Every decision that I make, should I keep this? Should I donate it? Is it just garbage? Should I give it to somebody to enjoy so I can watch, so I can see how much they enjoy it? And every time you make a decision like that, it sucks your energy out. So for me, one of my daily rituals is exercise. So I've been exercising daily for 52 years. One day when I was 14, I got up and I took my dog's leash and I put on my shoes and I just decided to go out and I ran. And when I got back, I felt really good. And I said, the next day I thought, oh, well, I think I'll do this again. And then every morning I got up and I said, I think I'll do this again. And I just kept it up because I discovered that when I didn't do it, I didn't feel as good, even though it felt good to kind of be lazy sometimes. And now when I get up, the decision, I don't have to make a decision to exercise. I have to make the decision not to exercise. So when would I do that? Oh, Anastasia, you've got a little bit of a fever and you've got some muscle cramps in your legs. It might not be a good idea to go out and run, right? So I have to talk myself out of exercising. And that is the kind of thing that you want to do, is that you get up and you don't make any decision to do the things. So let me just go through some of the daily things that I do that really make a difference for me. And it took, like, I would get up some mornings and then I would just kind of go through, you get up and you're a little groggy, go through, and then I go, oh, I didn't do this, and oh, I didn't do that. And now I don't have that anymore, now that I've established these habits, which have now become more rituals, right? So one of the things that I do is, the first thing I do is I get up and I have a pint of water, 2 cups of clear water. And as I'm walking to the bathroom to take a shower, so that's the next thing, is I take a salt shower to clean off the accumulation of energy during the night. And as I'm walking to the shower, I release the cords that got established. So I pull the ones from the back and cut them, and I'm releasing them as I'm walking into the bathroom with my fresh gym clothes because I'm going to exercise after the shower. I found that I feel better after the shower. Sometimes if I get pretty sweaty, I'll just rinse myself off, but it's not like the same thing as, you know, running all the water through my hair and the salt and everything to clean off all of the excess, what I call poopy or, you know, cobwebby, dirty energy that I don't want to have on my body. Dirty energy is anything that's not vibrating at my frequency, right? So now you've seen there's three steps, and the whole 3 steps take less than 15 minutes, right? Just get up, drink my water, walk to the shower, take the quick shower. You know, I just dry the front because the rest can drip dry. And then I put on my clothes and I'm out the door, right? And that's when I always walk 4 to 5 miles before I do anything. So that takes somewhere around an hour. So now I'm an hour and 15 minutes into a ritual, and when I get back, I just feel absolutely amazing. And I always listen to music, and I always do an energy clearing of me, and then a lot of my clients that work on me, that I work on. That's the ritual. Then I have a very healthy breakfast full of vegetables, a little bit of fruit, some, you know, healthy herbs and things like that. And that's when I start working. So now it's like not even 9 o'clock, and I have a full day with me being awake, energized, well-fed, exercise, and everything. And now I have a full day of activity, and I find that if I keep those rituals up every day, that my productivity goes way up. And then by the end of the day, 4 or 5 o'clock, sometimes even 7, by the end of the day, I am still feeling really, really amazing and awesome, and I can enjoy my evening. And the other thing that happens because I choose to do that exercise is I get a really good night's rest where I have a lot of deep sleep and a lot of REM sleep. So that keeps me going. And, you know, you ask, well, I travel a lot. Well, I do too. So fortunately, most of my travel is on the West Coast, and I pack a cooler full of healthy foods. And if I'm flying somewhere, I usually pack, you know, protein powders and things like that. And I carry a little blender with me. And wherever I go, I drop into a grocery store or a corner mart and pick up fresh fruits and vegetables. And I make sure that I get some really good quality proteins for meals. And I stay on my healthy food plan. And I always make sure I'm in bed by 9, 10 o'clock. Even though things go late, I just excuse myself. And I get up early and I do my exercise and go through my whole ritual. So I'm like really ready for the day. And that is something that took many years to develop. It's not something that you can do overnight. It took many years to develop. But I have to say that as I'm going into my, right, I'm now 66, I'm going to be 67 shortly. And as I'm going into these years, it becomes more and more and more important to maintain that discipline and those rituals, because it stops me from having to make decisions. And the other thing is that because I promised myself to do that, I maintain the integrity with myself. I manage to, hold myself accountable with my own word. If I hold myself in integrity, it raises my frequency. When I break my word to myself, which if you do one thing, the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, you will also break your word to other people. So one of my things that I do is I keep my word to all the people in my life as much as I can. And if I can't, I work to make it up to them, right? So having integrity with yourself, forming those rituals is super duper important because it conserves brain power. Likewise, with keeping integrity with yourself, it raises your frequency and it releases all of that decision-making energy to do something more productive or more fun. and start thinking about what rituals might you start, whether it's drinking water, cutting cords, maybe journaling for 10-15 minutes, maybe chanting, meditating, whatever is going to help you get present, because the best present you can give yourself is presence, to get present in the moment with yourself and really get your day started right. And the more you do it, the more it becomes a habit, and then eventually becomes a ritual that you can't live without. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for listening. Be sure to subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. And I look forward to seeing you same time, same place next week.